Buenos Aires University, School of Agronomy by Dr. Daniel Bertero. The University of Buenos Aires is located among the three best-scored universities in the region and spotted 67th among the international ranking. In Argentina, the academic system is both public and private, being that the public system holds 79% of total student population and is spread all along the country. 66 public institutions are free of fee for undergraduate studies. The University of Buenos Aires, FAUBA, is located in the capital city of Buenos Aires and is the largest university, divided in 13 faculties as law school, economy school, exact science, social studies, architectures, and so on. The agronomy school is also located in the capital of the city of Buenos Aires. University holds hospitals, schools, and 70 research institutes, and also count with more than 700 researchers, 300 fellows, and 500 postgraduate careers. As for the agronomy school, the undergraduate courses consist in four main groups: crop science, animal science, soils and natural resources, including environment and economy, business, and rural development. As for postgraduate courses, agronomy school hold PhDs, international masters shared with the Parma University, along with short programs and 18 specialist courses. The agronomy school is divided in 7 departments, practicing research, development, and extension. The National Research Academy, CONICET, holds 2 institutes in agronomy school: IFEBA for physiology and ecology research, and INBA for environmental bioscience research. IFEBA holds 55 researchers and 20 technicians as permanent staff, 60 PhD and 12 postdoc students. Research on several fields is done at IFEBA. The largest group is at the ecological field, particularly grassland at the humid Pampas and Patagonia. A second area is that of crop physiology. Wheat, barley, maize, soybean, and sunflower are the main crops studied, and research on quinoa is part of that team. Seed physiology, particularly in the field of pre-harvest sprouting resistant, is studied. And finally, research on photobiology, UVB, and phytochrome responses. One of the IFEBA lab is LOT, the Regional Analysis and Remote Sensing Laboratory. Its satellite images and other sources of information are analyzed in order to monitor process from the plot to the ecosystem level, providing services both to public and private sector. Pampita was one feature achievement of agronomy school. In 2002, the first cow cloned from a fibroblast cell was born. The aim of the project was to produce a growth hormone protein for the pharmaceutical purposes. Members of the faculty, together with Biocidus Laboratory, accomplished this major groundbreaking project. A more recent project from 2022 is the HB4 transgenic wheat and soybean for drought tolerance. A team joined from Agronomy School, CONICET, and Bioceres Company accomplished to commercially release this variety, contributing to food security challenge. Agronomy school, as well as the global community, faces environmental challenges. So, what can we do? Argentina holds the particularity of underpopulated areas. In fact, being the eighth spot worldwide as for extension, its population counts with only 45 million people. That leaves large areas suitable for agriculture, which favors agro-export economy. This area, called Pampa, is ideal for extensive agriculture and is known as the world's barn during the 20th centuries for its capacity to feed the world population with its grain production. In fact, today 10% of Argentina's GDP are based on agriculture's activities. In Argentina, the highest concern relates to the ecological and social impact of agriculture is crop area expansion. As from the 19th, deforestation in the north, particularly on the northwest, was intensified at the expense of dry forest known as Chaco. This associated to the use of no-tillage on fragile soil. The main crop in this new area is soybean, mostly exported to China. The evolution of this area under soybean is showing the right figure, together with glyphosate sales, a central input for no-tillage agriculture. Deforestation also advanced on the humid forest known as shungas. Crop expansion had several consequences. As mentioned, deforestation on the left map shows the increased areas of activity in Argentina, Paraguay, and Bolivia. The figures on the centers show pesticide toxicity, which was reduced with time. However, the use of pesticides increased exponentially in the last decades, which led to social concern about its consequences for public health. Even though the risk is lower than before, social concerns should be addressed. Finally, soil degradation goes hand in hand with deforestation. The figure to the right shows it in terms of percentage for forest area removed in Argentina, Paraguay, and Bolivia. Facing those challenges require joint forces. Therefore, international cooperation is essential. Our School of Agronomy is involved in international cooperation. More than 300 students are currently taking courses abroad, most of them as part of the Erasmus program. A similar number of professors are involved in the international exchange and memorandum of understanding, and material transfer agreements are regularly signed. An example of this cooperation center around maize cropping technology for marginal environment, led by Professor Gustavo Madoni at FAUBA, involved a complex network of experiment and government institutions and private sector, such as University of Queensland in Australia and Kansas University. As for quinoa, an ideal crop for marginal environment due to the resilience to drought and salinity soils. The perfect candidate for the global warming concerns for both fluctuated climate patterns and soil degradation. Quinoa is under the loop for several years now, showing high range of adaptability for breeding programs. As for food security crisis, quinoa also tend to be ideal. High-quality protein provide essential amino acid source, in addition to optimal balance of omega-6, omega-3 fatty acid. All in all, make it a perfect sustainable nutrition alternative. The uses for quinoa varies. As seed, it can be used for cooking, or as flour for baking, or mixed with chocolate or honey, the alcohol production or milk, as well as for the cosmetic industry. Leaf and stem are currently under trial for forage uses. In that sense, several projects are currently being held. An international research team, expert on quinoa physiology, are studying wild ancestors of quinoa as a source of heat tolerance resistant transferable to domesticated quinoa. The team, led by Dr. Tester from KAUST University in Saudi Arabia, a geneticist team from Brigham Young University in the US, Salta University, and Buenos Aires University, coordinated by Dr. Bertero in Argentina, are seeking for quinoa resistance to high temperatures as a response for food crisis and global warming. A second grant, supported by Fontagro and financed by the Inter-American Development Bank, is led by Dr. Bertero, brings together researchers from Ecuador, Peru, Chile, and Argentina, seeking for sustainable management of water and nitrogen for mid to low altitude quinoa growing environments along the west fraction of the South American continent. This long-lasting cooperation with Vietnam National University and Buenos Aires University is supported by the Pérez Guerrero Trust Fund and the United Nations, led by Dr. Nguyen Viet Long, aiming the production of quinoa under drought conditions over the dry season in Vietnam's central highlands in Dak Lak province. Cooperation between Vietnam and Argentina is flourishing, and we celebrate the growing collaboration between our countries, willing for a fructuous future bond between our nations.